What's going on, you filthy animals? And just like the title says, I don't want AMC to squeeze. But does that mean I don't believe AMC will squeeze? Well, actually, you know what? My conviction has remained unchanged. But now it's time to really talk about the market dynamics and what will cause the squeeze. FOMO will cause the squeeze. The catalyst to FOMO will be enthusiasm. Now, currently, we're looking at the minute chart and we can see that AMC, throughout most of the day, was hanging out above the 50 EMA and also above the VWAP. Now, if you don't know what that means, check out the playlist down in the description. I'll also include that link in the first comment. Click it through. I promise you within 20 videos, you will be a more informed and empowered trader and you will take trades like a boss. Now, going back to the whole idea of AMC squeezing, well, we have to look at DWAC. There was a massive amount of enthusiasm at market open, and that got artificially suppressed, and the price was never able to recover, coming out of pre-market at $121, currently trading nearly 12% down at $83. I've said this and I've said this time and time again. You cannot trade on emotions because you are trading against bots and algos that really don't have emotion. All they're using are technicals and indicators, and they're going to beat you every single time if you are trading blindly or under duress with emotion. And this is what we see with DWAC. We saw the same thing with Foon, where there was a halt and then people began to panic. And guys, this has nothing to do with Citadel at this point. It has everything to do with the market structure, the way it's structured, and not allowing retail investors to vote with their own money. At 121, you put a halt, and guess what happens? Shorts enter heavy. I don't want to see this happen at AMC. And in fact, we saw it happen when AMC ran to 72. What I want to see is a healthy and steady climb like we have seen with Tesla. And I'm going to show you guys the Tesla chart here. Now we look at Tesla, and Tesla broke 1,000. That's very psychological, and it is running. You think the shorts want to enter this play? No way in hell. It is definitely a dangerous play. But if we look at Tesla on a monthly, do you see this steady climb? We can go all the way back to 2019. And I know the apes are like, well, I don't want to wait a year. I don't want to wait 2 years. But you know what? If that's what the game calls for, that is exactly what the game calls for. If your life depends on a stock changing your life in the next 3 to 6 months, then bro, you're doing it wrong. This is a long-term play. This is how I want to see it done. Why? Because we avoid the market halts. We avoid that manipulation that we saw with DWAC, that we saw with Foon. We saw market manipulation at its finest, not allowing you as retail traders to take accountability for the fact that you wanted to enter this trade. Somehow you're being protected. I was on a space call and we were listening to Citadel versus SEC. What we saw with that market halt this morning, that had nothing to do with Citadel. That had everything to do with the market. If they're going to halt the likes of any meme stock that, well, just carries too much enthusiasm behind it, no, I don't want that. You think they care to stop Tesla at this point? No. Why? Because the market has shown conviction for over the past 2 years. There's no stopping Tesla. Absolutely not. So, when we look at the short thesis and we go ahead and we talk about how streaming was the future because that was the dialogue over 10 months ago, well, we have a simultaneous release with Dune and HBO Max. Now, we had Halloween Kills with a simultaneous release compared to a platform no one heard of. It was called Peacock. Like, what the fuck? Peacock? Like, I wouldn't want to subscribe to something called Peacock. This was the ultimate test, and it was gauging overall sentiment to the movie industry. And in fact, IMAX just made a killing. The short thesis is just long been expired. The market makers know they're in a shit world of trouble as long as you maintain your diamond hands and you maintain your conviction. Now, we could go ahead and talk about short interest, 16.25%. The naysayers are saying, well, that short interest is too low. It's going low. AMC is not going to moon. Well, we have another argument for you coming right up. Then we got open interest. The put call ratio for a Monday, 0.54, extremely healthy. That's something I want to see. Max pain, $38. Look for that number to shift throughout the week as we get more and more bullish. Guys, we're still waiting for Adam Aaron to talk about this mystery business that's supposed to set the world on fire and get the apes moving. Now, I want to talk about this here, the socialization of the stock, because this is dangerous. If your conviction is dependent on comments and threats, you don't belong in this play. Let's go ahead and look at the stock, guys, because we can go ahead and bring up AMC and we zoom out and look at what we see. Let's go to the daily here. We are basically just in this very bullish pennant, and we have to let AMC do what it wants to do and what it has to do. If we go ahead and we look at the monthly here, just like we did with Tesla, listen, we have the trend. We still have this flag here. This move isn't over until it's over. But now let's go ahead and talk about the final ingredient, and that is FOMO. Now, I don't understand why the community has indoctrinated the mindset of like, I'm going to buy the dip. Let's talk about the algos for a second, right? When we enter the market or when a stock starts moving, it is undergoing a process called price discovery, right? So it's the longs versus the shorts. If you are buying the dip and not the rip, you're confirming the short thesis. The algo is saying, all right, well, the market agrees that AMC is worth $37.24. There's no reason to move the price upwards. But if we're buying the rip, then that's when you see the price start moving to the upside. And this is exactly what we saw with DWAC. People were buying the rip. The sentiment with this stock was this thing is going to infinity beyond. So any price you buy it was still a cheap price. Now, full disclaimer, I made about 60 grand on this play with DWAC. I did so not because I made this political or I have a political agenda to push or anything like that. It was because the chart showed me what I needed to see. Make sure you guys check out that playlist down below. I'll include it in the description. It's down in the comments. Empower yourself, because there is no way that AMC squeezes and then we have a halt and people who don't know any better are actually going to continue to hold on. There's no way that shit's going to happen unless you educate yourself, unless you are aware of what is really going on. This is Gabe. Sorry for this long fucking rant. I'm signing out. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.